The cell phones don't lie.
Okay.
Yeah, that clock's
Okay.
fast.
Stressed out about Mark's approval.
Because it matters so much.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Chaska City Council meeting for Monday, March 16th. I call this meeting to order at 7 o'clock. Would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Elise, will you please call roll?
Councilmember Hatfield? Here. Councilmember Benish?
Here.
Councilmember Shevlin?
Here.
Councilmember Grau?
Here.
Mayor Hubbard?
Here. All right, that moves us on to adopting the agenda. Does anybody have any additions or corrections on the agenda? Otherwise, I'd entertain a motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt agenda.
All right, we have a motion from Councilmember Grau.
Second.
Whoa. Second from Councilmember Hatfield. She fought for it harder. All right, any other discussion? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda
Are we
is
waiting for Christoph?
adopted. We are not waiting for Christoph. I don't know. I should note that virtually we have Mr. Podorowski here with us, our city administrator. All right, moving along, we have visitor presentations. We have recognition of outgoing commission members. So, I know we have some commission members that have given their time and knowledge over the years of helping make Chaska a wonderful place to live, and we want to make sure we take a minute to recognize these outgoing commission members. So, should I just do these one at a time, just read them off? And okay. All right, so first up, we have Scott Wilbert. Scott served 9 years on the Heritage Preservation Commission from 2017 to 2025 here. During his time, Scott worked on a number of projects related to the preservation of the city's most coveted property and histories. He had involvement in major projects such as site alteration permits for historic properties and providing helpful commentary on sign ordinance updates, the rear entrance design guidelines, City Square West, the maintenance and repair guide for designated historic residences, local nominations, and the downtown heritage kiosks, which look amazing. Scott was a dedicated commissioner and an active participant in both the meetings and work sessions we had. His ideas and participation have left a positive mark on the legacy of the commission. We are extremely thankful for his commitments of 3 terms, which is 9 years. So thank you, Scott. I have a little certificate that I can hand off your way, and then your placard, because I know you're going to want to frame that below the certificate at home. All right, next we have Jen Wilbert. Jen served 9 years on the Human Rights Commission from 2017 to 2025. She was elected to the chair in 2018, which she served through 2020. Jen has also served as vice chair of the commission in 2024 and then also in 2025 again. During her time, Jen helped to develop a strategic plan in coordination with the City Council, which has guided the commission over the past 5 years. Jen, as part of her time with the commission, helped to bring new and now very popular events to life, including the MLK Day celebration, Pride celebration, and the Cultural Heritage Month celebrations such as Celebrate India and Celebrate Africa. Jen was a dedicated commissioner and an active participant in both the meetings and the subcommittees. Her ideas and leadership have left a positive mark during a time of rapid growth for the commission. So we want to thank Jen for her time. I also have a certificate and placard for you as well. All right. I'm getting to you, Rob, over here, but first, I've got Aaron Kerber in front of me here. So Aaron has served 3 years on the Planning Commission from 2023 to 2025. Aaron consistently brought thoughtful discussion and, as a longtime Chaska resident, local insight into the commission meetings. Aaron's time on the commission included a number of very impactful projects and came at a time of historic growth. A quick highlight of projects Aaron had involvement included the Public Safety Center, MSB2, the North Water Treatment Plant, commercial and industrial projects including Crown Extrusions expansion, Cloud HQ, Beckman Coulter expansion, 3740 Chestnut, Hazeltine Golf Course Performance Center and Villas, and residential projects including Chaska Yards, Ernst House Preservation, the Carver Apartments, Kentismo Assisted Living, Rivertown Heights, Reserve at Autumn Woods, Ensconce Woods and Carlson Bluffs, Highpoint Vistas, and Fulton Wood. Wow. And I feel like that's probably not all of them because you guys have worked very, very hard on the Planning Commission. Aaron has been a dedicated commissioner and an active participant. Aaron's insight and impact on the community is very much appreciated. I know Aaron is and will continue to be active in the community in many ways, and we were very fortunate to have her on the Planning Commission. So round of applause for Aaron. Wonderful. All right, and last but not least, I have Rob Brass. Rob served 7 years on the Planning Commission from 2019 to 2025, in which Rob was appointed Vice Chair in 2021 and then was appointed Chair in 2022. During his time, Rob helped the Planning Commission navigate COVID, ensure smooth transitions at the chair position, both from his longtime predecessor, Brian Dahlke, and now to Todd Urbanski, and has always provided valuable insight into projects by sharing his commercial real estate expertise with the community. Rob led the Commission's review of many impactful projects. A quick highlight of Rob's projects had Rob involved with the Public Safety Center, the MSB2, the North Water Treatment Plant, the commercial industrial projects including Costco, the Chaska Tech Center, Oppidine's 2 buildings, Qualitech expansion, Crown Extrusions expansion, Cloud HQ, 212 medical expansion, Beckman Coulter's expansion, the 3740 Chestnut and Southwest Christian High School expansion, Hazeltine Golf Course Performance Center and Villas, residential projects including Chaska Yards, Ernst House Preservation, Springs at McKnight, the Carver Apartments, Fenview Flats Apartments, the Plaza at Hazeltine Apartments, Kentismo Assisted Living, multiple additions of the Harvest Neighborhood, Rivertown Heights, Reserve at Autumn Woods, Ensconced Woods, and Carlson Bluffs, Highpoint Vistas, and Fulton Woods. And again, I know there's more than that there because you worked very, very hard. Rob has been a dedicated commissioner and thoughtful leader. He has provided leadership to the Planning Commission during a time of historic growth in Chaska. Rob's insight and partnership are very much appreciated. Last, on the behalf of staff and your fellow commissioners, thank you for the small jars of local honey that you would often distribute at Planning Commission meetings. I'm unaware of this fact, but thank you for all of your contributions. So thank you, Rob. Do we want to take a picture and everything? Okay, so let's take a picture. Why don't you guys, should we come down or have them
Let's
come
go
up?
down there.
Or you guys want to come on up and hold your certificates and maybe you should go down?
I'll bring you some honey. I'll come
So
you have commercial hives on top of my buildings.
Oh,
Properties that I have.
do you get all suited up to?
No, wait a minute.
Oh, okay.
I get like 2,000 jars
Just don't fall.
a year.
How
Can't
fun.
give them away.
The allergen benefits of honey. Okay, you guys come stand right up here.
I like this side.
I know.
But now you're telling me Taylor.
That's
you're gonna throw it
perfect.
out.
Wait a minute. Okay, that's okay. All right. Perfect. Oh, look at that. You guys. I like how he's just like his nameplate too. I don't know if you're all able to do that. That looks good. Okay, thank you. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Take one more. No, it looks perfect. Awesome. I might have given you
Michelle, go put it
my
with
little
3D to get
speech
mad in there,
sheet.
too.
That's okay. No, keep it. It's my love letter to you guys. So,
We should've
yeah,
all
thank
got-
you guys. And I mean, we wanted to make sure we said, made sure that we recognize, the different parts and contributions you guys played over the year. But just a genuine, heartfelt thank you. You volunteered your time, your knowledge, your resources. That means a lot. And it means a lot, not just to us up here as a council, but just to the community as a whole. So thank you so much for caring about Chaska and making sure that it's a great place to live. Thank you. All right. Do I have anybody else here for visitor presentations?
We're just observing for Boy Scouts.
Okay.
Like some ranking and heritage items. So.
Sure. Do you want to come up and introduce yourself up at the microphone? I promise we are very, kind and
We've had other ones
and
like you,
approachable.
and they've been
So
great.
yeah. Hi.
Hello, my name is Aiden Ziff, and I'm a part of Troop 174, and I'm here to work on my communications merit badge, where I come and kind of observe and see and write down different points of view on one subject, and then one for my first class rank, where I have to talk about an environmental issue that I heard about, and then see what people in our community can do to help it.
Wonderful.
If there happens to be one on the agenda tonight, if not, then we'll catch that one at a later date.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's a great question. I don't
We're
know.
in luck. Our agenda is late tonight, so
Yeah.
we will get you.
We do have, I
back-
mean, it's not
back
necessarily
before school.
environmental, but we are, the League of Minnesota Cities has but that's part of our consent agenda, so. Well, wonderful. I appreciate your willingness to come up and introduce yourself. I know it can feel a little bit intimidating being up at the microphone, but appreciate you being here tonight, and good luck on getting your badge. It's really nice to see you here.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. All right, wonderful. Well, moving on in the agenda, I think we have, any other visitors are coming forward? Anything that's not on the agenda? Okay. All right, moving along, we have approval of the previous meeting minutes. So these council minutes are from February 23rd, 2026. Does anybody have any additions or corrections to the minutes? Otherwise, I would entertain a motion for approval.
Motion to approve the minutes.
All right, we have a motion from Councilmember Benish
Second.
and a second from Councilmember Shevlin. Any other discussion? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, minutes are approved, and that moves us on to our consent items. These are items that receive little to no discussion, although anything can certainly be pulled off the consent agenda and talked about as an action item. Does anybody have any questions or anything they want to pull off or discussion?
I just had one question on the 7H approved service territory agreement with Xcel Energy. So just to make sure I understood it, we're taking over the territory as far as like putting in our infrastructure and whatnot so that it's ready when we do actually buy them out of that area.
Yeah, so we're in the process of actually acquiring their territory right now. And the actual timing of getting that process done is going to take longer than it takes to actually get the neighborhood up and developed. And the thing we don't want to have happen is have Xcel go and put their infrastructure in, and then we have to go back in and put our infrastructure in. So this is just a temporary agreement that basically they say they're giving us permission to go and put our infrastructure in and service it before we actually get the purchase agreement to buy their service territory completed.
Okay, that's how I read it, but I just wanted to be sure. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, great question. Any other questions? I'm excited to see 7B kind of keep things moving along with the park, so grant opportunity there. But if there are no other questions, I would entertain a motion for approving the consent items.
Motion to approve consent items.
All right, we have a motion from Councilmember Shevlin,
Second.
and a second from Councilmember Gra. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consent is done. All right, that moves us on to action items. So the first one is 8A. Motion to approve entering into a letter of intent with the Community Asset Foundation for funding the inn at 1201 and 1207 Yellow Brick Road. Who
May I
would like
turn
to?
this one over to Elise because I can't quite read it on my phone.
Okay.
Mayor and council members, as you may recall, at the last council meeting on February 23rd, you approved a concept plan for the inn, which will be developed by Community Asset Foundation. This will be part of the Beyond New Beginnings program, which provides affordable housing to young mothers. So as a part of that, and you may know with affordable housing projects, there's a lot of compilation of different funding sources in order to make those work and for affordability. So Community Asset Foundation is looking to secure a total of $1.2 million in order to fund that project. Similar to a lot of affordable housing projects, it's both a mixture of private sources as well as public sources. So about 50% has been secured in their funding so far, and they actually have a request into the CDA, which the CDA anticipates taking action upon at the end of this week. So they get very close. There would be a final gap of about $394,000 that they are looking for the city to fill. So in reviewing the request, staff finds that there is a gap in order to make the project viable. And we also find that the project aligns with your strategic plan goals of Chaska as a hometown for all. So with these items, staff is recommending that you approve entering into a letter of intent with Community Asset Foundation for $394,000 in funding for the end project on Yellow Brick Road. We have several sources of funds that this could come from. Staff is still evaluating which funding source it will come from, and we will bring back at final plan review final agreements for these funds, including what source they would be from as well. So staff is recommending you approve this evening. I'm happy to answer any questions. Also, Mr. McCorney is here from Community Asset Foundation as well.
I think I'll just add one quick thing. I think the thing we really like about this project is, we're able to put in a relatively low amount of dollars that helps support 4 affordable housing units. A lot of times when we're putting in this amount of money, we're only usually getting about 2 units out of that. Like if we're doing a land trust unit, we typically be putting in about $150,000 per unit. So the fact that we're getting 4 affordable housing units out of this project with that dollar amount is particularly attractive, but it also is helping support a program that's already been proven in town.
I have a quick question on when they were here before. They had mentioned some things around parking and all that. Did we get answers on the street outside that? And then secondly, if the city puts money in, is there a partial ownership or some type of thing moving forward then with those? You don't have to get up. You can.
Dave Corning with Community Asset Foundation. So the first question related to the site plan. Yes, I think we have that resolved.
Okay, good.
We did submit our I guess they're the preliminary final site and building plans. They'll be at the Planning Commission in April. What we talked with the staff about is an amendment to the existing PUD, and then also we're addressing that setbacks through that, and then we have redesigned the way that the utilities would go in so that the current plan would result in 3 cuts into the street. This one would be, well, at most 2 and probably only 1. So, and I can't tell you it's going to be just 1 because we don't control the other 2 other parcels, but I think that's what will happen. They'll all go up this 1. And then the second question was related to ownership.
Yeah, like if the city's given, like, putting money in, what's the,
So, one of the other funding sources is the Carver County CDA. And we're having final approval for, they're contributing $230,000. That's gonna occur this Friday. There's a preliminary approval and we've worked out now an agreement. Part of that agreement, the building will go into the land trust, and the CDA will have the first option to buy it. I expect at some point that's what will happen. I mean, I can't say that for a fact, but our commitment is that it'll be a long-term affordable housing location. For at least the first 15 years, it'll serve this focus on young women who are struggling with housing. Typically, they're homeless. Probably longer term, but our financing commitments, one of them is through the Federal Home Loan Bank, and that's actually a mandate in that fund. Assuming this funding gets approved, I just actually checked the day before it came, we're within $102,000 of hitting our 1.225 million in funds. So I'm positive we will break ground this spring.
well, congratulations. That's great. It's a great asset to our community, as we discussed last time, so I'm all for it.
So I really appreciate the city's help and the staff. I would point out, though, that in the last month, I've been at more city council meetings than the current city administrator. So,
I mean, we've noticed.
I will always be truly amazed at how well you work something like that at every meeting.
Yeah, I couldn't expect anything less from Dave.
But again, we're really excited about the project. Just as an aside, one of the funding sources that we were working on is there's a program through the state where people who donate would get a tax credit of 85% of whatever they donated. Last year, the state allocated all of their, it's $13 million. It took them 4 months. This year, it took 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
Crazy.
And so we were able to get 120,000. We had people lined up that were going to contribute over 300,000, but they couldn't get in. Not
Wow.
all allocated. So I guess in some ways that's a good sign that there's a lot of interest these days in affordable housing.
Yeah, there's a desire.
And there's a great need for it too, so that's wonderful to hear on both sides.
There's a lot more need than we can fill.
Yeah.
But thanks a lot, and thank you for your support.
Yeah, we look forward to the site plan coming back for preliminary, I'm sure. It sounds like, so to be determined as far as the funding source, because I was gonna ask whether they're gonna come from the LAHA dollars, but it sounds like
We're looking at
mulling
a
that through.
few options. We
Okay.
have the LAHA dollars, which is that
Local.
sales tax from the state that comes to the city every year. We also have some additional pooling dollars that from different housing TIF districts we could use. So currently, Julie Grove is looking at all the different projects that are coming down, figuring out what the timelines are to spend funds and figure out what's going to use best so that we can best utilize those funds in the most efficient way.
Sure, makes sense. Wonderful. All right, so does anybody else have any questions for staff or Mr. Picorni? Otherwise, I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
All right, so we have a motion to approve entering into a letter of intent with the Community Asset Foundation for funding the inn at 1201 and 1207 Yellow Brick Road. We have a motion from Councilmember Hatfield.
Second.
Second from Councilmember Benish. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, nice to see you. All right, that moves us along to, down on our agenda to 8B, awarding of contracts for the Chaska Municipal Service Building.
Mayor and Councilmember, the item in front of you tonight, I'm really excited about this one for two reasons. First of all, it's the second building in our public improvement program, public building improvement program. But I'm really excited about it because when I opened my email this morning, Elise had sent over to me our temporary certificate of occupancy for our public safety building, which we just got this morning. So the fact that we're actually considering awarding the bid for the municipal service building on the same day that we got our temporary CO for the public safety building I find it exciting, and it's sort of a coincidence too. But you will see in front of you tonight that we did go out for bids in February for the municipal service building. We did have estimates. The last estimates that we did were back in November. We had estimates that were close to $46 million for the entire project. You will see that the bids that we received back for the project were about $47.9 million. So they were higher than what we had done the estimates on. The majority of the overage that we saw there came in two main categories. They came in the steel within the building and within the wall sections within the building, which use steel. What was very interesting about that was that both of the low bidders in those particular categories were the ones that we actually received, were the ones that provided the estimates when we did those back in November. So that indicates how volatile the market has been over the last couple of months. Over the last few weeks, we've done a few things. We went back and did some value engineering and really looked at the things that are there things that we can do to the facility that aren't going to compromise the functionality of the building, the size of the building, which we think is very important for us to be able to serve our future needs, and really sort of the overall quality of the building, so that is long lasting and is easy to maintain. And we were able to come up with just over $700,000 of things that we feel that we can take out of the project or substitute in the project as we're going through to bring that down, which leaves, I think it's like 1.3 million or so additional dollars that we'd need to make up the gap. One of the things that I wasn't necessarily planning for during the public safety building project is that the financing that we did during that project, when we did the financing for the project, we take the funding, and we don't just go and take the funding and pay the contractor everything at once. We do distributions over the course of the project itself. So we take all those dollars, we put them into a fund, we in essence invest them in sort of like a money market type of account, and over the course of the project, because those funds don't get used all at once, they earn interest. We earned a little over $2 million of interest in those funds over the course of the project, what we do is we're able to use those to help write down the cost of the debt service on the Public Safety Center, which then frees up dollars to move from within our public improvement, our public building improvement program into our municipal service building project without having to bring dollars in from any other source. So we are recommending that we do that. We think if we do any additional value engineering beyond what we've done, we'd start to get into some things that are going to impact us into the future and get into the real functionality and maintenance of the building, and really feel that this is an opportunity to be able to utilize the funds that we have within the public improvement fund itself, not have to use additional dollars, and be able to go forward with the project as it's proposed. We're probably going to run into a very similar situation when we go through the municipal service building project and when we go out for financing. We'll be investing those dollars as we go through the draws, and end up having probably a very similar situation as we move into the library facility as well. So again, something that we weren't necessarily planning for, but gives us a little bit more flexibility as we're looking at the project now. So with that being said, I can't really read the details on my phone of specific aspects of the bid. Elise would probably be able to answer those better if you do have specific questions on that. But staff is recommending that we award the bids as we receive them. And then as we go into the project, then we'd work with the contractors with the items that we've identified as things that we'd either substitute or delete or things like that throughout the project, and then we'd see those savings come as we go throughout the project itself. With that being said, I can certainly answer any questions.
Does anybody have any questions for Matt at all?
No. It's that interest is certainly helpful because looking at those numbers, I was a little like, oh shoot, but that does help.
Yeah.
Pad it some, and I think that's grateful for that.
Yeah, Matt and I had because I had the same questions as I was reviewing our packet over the weekend, and I was like, okay, I see some of the substitutions, and they seemed, pretty nominal in the sense of, they weren't going to impact the functionality or quality of the facility, but we still have this gap, like how is this going to work? And so I think that is one benefit of us going through this building program and doing 4 buildings, is that we have the opportunity to be able to carry over the interest that's been bared in order to help in a situation such as this, when we have volatility in the market of certain construction materials that are just higher now because of outside factors. And so the one thing that Matt and I had talked about was that we were grateful that we didn't have to revise it to start cutting away actual square footage of the building, because then that starts to get into the idea of just the functionality of the space and long-term effects from that. So that was really grateful for that part. But I just wanted to make sure you did a great job explaining some of pretty much our conversation from earlier, as far as kind of where things were in line. So.
Well, the one thing I didn't mention is it's like I told the mayor today. I am not an expert in a good garage door or a bad garage door, and what what is functional and not functional, or easy to maintain or not to maintain. All of these changes, Craig, Brian, and Matt, I made sure that all of them felt comfortable with these before we went forward with any of the changes. Because at the end of the day, they're the ones that have to maintain these things over time. And certain things they might look at and say, oh yeah, that might be a savings now, but that's going to be a cost later on. These changes they felt very comfortable with.
Yeah, that's definitely good to note that they reviewed it. So
I just have a quick question. The first item where they found some savings was standard metal panel in lieu of custom colored panels. Is that like on the outside of a building, or where? Yeah,
it's on the outside of the building. And actually, I was telling the mayor today that we ended up doing the same thing with the public safety center, and with these, when you start getting actual samples of the colors that of the panels that these companies make, you start to realize that there's very little difference between the custom colors that they have and the standard colors that they have, except for the difference that the standard colors they have are significantly cheaper. So one of the things that we had to do before we could even consider that as an option is we had to run that through our planning staff because, the planning department and the planning commission, everything were the ones that approved the color palette for the building. And so we ran that through Liz, and Liz took a look at it, and she felt very comfortable that the color was going to look very similar, if not the same, as what we had originally looked at for the building.
Awesome, that's great.
Any other questions? I mean, this is just really exciting to kind of move forward. Like you had talked about, we're kind of closing the door on one building project.
You're opening the door though, because they're moving in.
That's true. Okay, technically opening the door, but we're also closing the door in construction? I don't know.
Yeah.
Got it.
And starting a new chapter. And being in the MSB, the public works space, I was hanging out with the mechanics last week. And just seeing the functionality of that space as it currently exists and hearing kind of the limitations. And even as it was the end of the day, they had to park like a vehicle, and it was just like right there. I mean, it was either, it was right up against the car that was being serviced and then right up against the garage door. We make it work, but I know that in order for them to do their job as efficiently as possible, they obviously need a bigger space and for our community of our size. So this is exciting to kind of to be able to go forward with this and start this next step in the building process.
I have one more quick question, Matt. As far as it's breaking ground in June, but it's not finished until next winter, right? Like the end of 27?
So this one is about a 14-month construction process, and so they'll actually start in May. So I would expect that you would probably see it before. What year is it now? 2026. So you'd probably see it before like the hard freeze of 27.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking less amount. I mean, that's great for them because then the winter of 27, 28 will be much easier to service. But I was more thinking in the case of like materials going up again, goodness knows what's going to happen with all of the things that the U.S. is currently involved in. But if costs were to go up more, if we lock in today, we're guaranteed costs of today's pricing, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Good question.
that's the other thing is I guarantee you that
It's going
It's
up. I'm
as
just going to
low-
tell you, yes. Everything is going to go up.
It's as low as we are ever
Yes.
going to get it
Yes.
right now.
Yes.
Because the type of material that is being used in this building is the type of material that we're going to see start to go up pretty quickly in
Well,
price.
and steel too. I mean, a lot of it comes from China and all this other, and
Yep.
like I said, politics aside, everything going on in the world aside, you can see fuel has gone up $1.50 in the last month, and so everything, you just build on that. The cost of everything is going to go up, and so if we can lock in before that continually erodes our budget, that's probably a wise thing to do.
Yes, yeah, so by accepting this now, we are locked into those
Okay.
prices.
Great point. Wonderful. Well, with that, I would entertain a motion to approve the awarding of the contracts and authorize the mayor and city administrator to execute them.
Motion to approve contracts?
All right, we have a motion from Councilmember Shevlin
Second.
and a second from Councilmember Benish. Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Contracts awarded. All right, that moves us along to bills. Does anybody have a question on a bill?
I just had one question, and I'm sorry, I can't remember where it was.
I'm glad, because I was trying to find a question and I and all that.
I think I know what it's for. Gosh, where did it go? This is what happens when you don't write things down, folks. It's, I think, one of the units on the lodge. Where is it? Page 5, to Archer Mechanical Replacement Lodge RTU. Is that one of the
That's
He's
one
a-
of the rooftop units.
Okay, was that an
Yeah,
expected
so
one?
That's one of our cooling units.
Okay, was that one that we had expected to replace on, okay, that's what I was thinking, but I wanted to just, I saw that, caught my eye, so that was the only question I had, thank you.
All right, does anybody else have any questions on any bill? I was hoping that we would have to make you look really hard into your phone, Matt, to see. All right, well, with that, I'd entertain a motion to approve bills.
Motion to approve the bills?
All right, motion from Councilmember Hatfield. And a second from the mayor. All right, roll call, please.
Councilmember Hatfield?
Yes.
Councilmember Benish?
Yes.
Councilmember Shevlin?
Yes.
Councilmember McGraw?
Aye.
Mayor Hubbard?
Aye. All right, bills are paid. All right, that moves us along to other business. John, Councilmember Grah, sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I will, I mean,
Okay.
it's the broken record, but I will thank the city and all those cleaning crews to get the snow out. It was a lot of snow.
It was a lot of snow.
Scary enough, a lot less than they thought we were gonna get, which makes it even more interesting when you think about how much snow is in their yard. So I think that's interesting. You know, we were talking up here, Matt, I'll put you on the spot a little bit here, about quick melting of that snow and what's the forecast look like for spring when it comes to flooding? Probably looked pretty good up until last weekend, but maybe it's changed dramatically, or maybe it's been low and it's probably just gonna go into the system.
Yeah, I think one of the things that's gonna help is the fact that the ground, there was not very much frost left in the ground when we got that snowfall. So we'll actually see some of that snow melt actually go percolate into the ground and not just all into our stormwater system. Had we received that snowfall, I don't know, 3 weeks ago when the ground was still quite frozen, then it would have been a different story. You would have seen that stuff pretty quickly run into the river and creek system.
Okay, so that's good. The only other thing I'll have is just congratulations to the Chaska boys basketball and their victory in the section to go to state, which actually is interesting because I just Googled some facts. So their last were there in 2017. It's actually 40 years ago since their first appearance in 1981. I think seeding comes out tomorrow at noon, I believe, with games being at Target Field. Games are not this week, Target Center, excuse me. Target Field might be fun
That'd be
too.
really chilly.
I think that'd be fun.
They're the following week, and I was kind of thrown off by that because I was like, isn't it always the week after the girls? And it's not, because there was some foresight to think that maybe the women's Gophers would actually host NCAA games, and that's what happened. So they're actually congratulations to them too. But really exciting. I obviously have an interest. My kids play basketball. I think what that program has built and their interactions with the Chaska Youth Basketball Association has been great. So I do wish them best of luck. Immediately both my children, but mostly my middle schooler, didn't ask, but said he was going to get out of school to go to the game, which I smiled and said, yes, we'll figure that out. Because I think it is one of those things where moments like that build programs, and you get kids who go there and want to play that and see that and create that atmosphere. So that's exciting. And we watched, I grew up in small town and actually didn't witness my team go to state, nor did I go to state. I was close. So it never even dawned on me that things would sell out for the section championship. So I watched it on TV. I streamed it because it sold out. Like, I heard in an hour and a half the tickets sold out for tickets to go to Prior Lake. So yeah, it was an exciting game. I think it's really cool and congratulate that. I believe that is all I have. I will leave it at that. Yes, that is all I have.
All right, wonderful report. Councilmember Shevlin.
Well, first, my oldest turned 7 on Saturday, so I have to wish Grace a very happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And then I saw and I only mentioned this because Matt, and I think he's also Matt, were out at my house last fall looking at our land and all the things that are wrong with it or right with it. And they mentioned the shade tree program, and that is actually open now, so if there are residents who are interested in purchasing trees at a discount, this is the time to put your applications in. And I think that there's a link online. I was just trying to find it for you, and I'm not
Yeah,
fast enough, but
I believe you're
it's
right.
here, but I don't know if there's an application. It talks about it, yeah.
Yeah, I think there's more details on the city
Yeah.
website, and you can always certainly call
Yeah.
the city. I know that it's popular, so it's good to get
Yeah.
on that. And you're right with, emerald ash borers.
Yes.
Yeah.
So everybody
Good
should,
opportunity.
Look into that. It's a really great program. And then I hope you saw in the mail that your Chaska Today 3rd edition came out, and there is a whole crossword section on the city council. I got 100%, but I'm hoping that all of you in the city take a look at that and fill it out. And if you don't know your council members' names, then you should be looking right up here so you do, because that's 90% or, well, 50% of the game. So it was exciting to see that come out, as always. Kevin, Krista, Matt, all the people on the city staff that take part in this. It's really fun to see that come, and actually everybody in my house picks it up because it sits on the island for a week and takes a gander. So really fun to see everybody kind of interested in what's going on in that, and that we're doing something like that. So I think that's all I have.
That's a great report. Wonderful.
Shade tree program is great. They'll deliver it to where you need it to be.
Yeah.
I can contest because I got one last year right on a boulevard tree, and I'm sure glad it was close because
Yes.
I got the biggest tree you could, and then you always don't realize how heavy that's.
They are.
So you have to drop that thing in the hole.
roll it over, and it's like this hole's either gonna be big enough because when it goes in that hole, it ain't coming back out. So that was good, but yeah, it's good. It's a good program. Right?
Yeah. And there is a link. I just got it to work on the city website. So there is a link if you're interested in it. It's at the bottom. There's a menu, and it's Shade Tree Program is one of them. So you can take a look at it and apply if you would like them.
Awesome. All right, Councilman Benish.
I didn't know that there was a crossword at the back of the Chaska today because I hadn't gotten it in the mail yet. And being part of a crossword puzzle is a lifelong dream of mine.
Well, yeah, look at
That is
you.
super cool to be a clue in a crossword puzzle.
You're number 6.
I'm perfect. I love it.
I know.
I also want to give a shout out to my youngest Eddie who turned 12 10 days ago. It was too late and from our last meeting to do that, so it's posthumous. Well, not posthumous. That's terrible. It's belated. Wishing him a belated 12th birthday. So, and I also want to give a shout out to all the public works folks who are out this weekend as well, and my fellow first responders who are out there working and all this stuff, being there for us and ready to go just in case something were to happen. So, thank you.
Absolutely.
And that's all I got. Oh, wait, one more. Sorry. Tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day.
Oh.
Everybody be smart,
Responsible.
be responsible, call a friend, call an Uber, have a good time, but make good decisions. So that's all I got.
Great report. All right, Councilmember Hatfield.
Awesome. Well, it's okay. I'll start with the Southwest Transit update.
I know.
We did have quite the week for
Yes.
Southwest Transit. So I think probably most people may have seen on like social media, and we've talked about it up here a little bit, but there is currently a bill making its way through the House and now the Senate as well that would eliminate suburban transit providers. I won't go into the whole history, but 40 years ago, Chaska, along with Eden Prairie and Chanhassen, entered into joint powers to opt out of having the Met Council and their provider Metro Transit provide suburban transit this way. Essentially, we were paying into it. We were not getting really any service. So we did that 40 years ago. I would say it's been going very well. But, as politics do, some people think that it should go differently. So there is a bill to eliminate the suburban transit providers under the guise that it would save a lot of money. And I disagree with that. I think there's a real lack of foresight on this bill, but that aside, we showed up in force at the hearing this past Wednesday, which feels like a lot longer ago, but it was just this past Wednesday. So we had the Southwest Transit Day at the Capitol, which was great. We hosted that, and then it just so happened there was a hearing on this bill in the House Transportation Committee, and so we had there were over 15 people that testified to oppose this bill. Sometimes like politics works like this too. It didn't really quite seem like anyone was actually listening to those 15 people, but thank you to the mayor for showing up and opposing it on behalf of Chaska. I spoke as chair of Southwest Transit, and there were a number of other people. Thank you to Carver County. Commissioner Workman came and opposed it. The chamber was there. It was just really nice to see all the people that cared enough to come, including, I thought it was really interesting and cool, a resident that we didn't even know was coming made their way from Chaska, and that's a big thing, intimidating thing, to make your way all the way to the Capitol, to find the hearing room, to get ticketed in, and then to actually sit down and testify on something. And so thank you. I believe her name was Maurice, a resident of Chaska that did that and just came down on her own accord, and that was really cool. And so I would say everyone should be more like Maurice, and you can show up and talk about these things you care about, and she did that for Southwest Transit. So it is passed in the House Transportation Committee, so now it moves on to Ways and Means, because it'd be a change of government, and they look more at the financial and the fact that it would change how government works. And there's not a hearing currently set for that, so I'll keep everyone updated. There's also, I guess I haven't looked today, but I don't believe there's a hearing in the Senate for the companion bill. So all that to say, there's still a lot of steps this bill would have to take to actually become law. And so it continues to be helpful to reach out to your legislators to oppose this and share that. We're certainly working behind the scenes with our lobbyists and our PR firm for Southwest Transit to continue to kind of spread the word on why this doesn't make a lot of sense. And I think, for instance, some of what's been shared is they're throwing around 25 to 55 million in savings. We don't see that as making sense when you consider things like the infrastructure and whatnot. So it really would be a loss for Chaska. We likely wouldn't have any service. Metro Transit does not have door-to-door service with microtransit. They don't have any of that. They don't own any of our facilities, like our park and ride, our bus garage. They do own the buses, but that's about it. So I always see, people saying, well, consolidation makes sense when you look at all the savings. It really doesn't. You'd still need more drivers. You'd still need more mechanics, all of those things. So please continue to reach out to your legislators about this and say that you don't want it, because it would be really unfortunate for Chaska when we think about all of our community events and even the state fair. When the kids make it to state and we take a bus down, all of those things are not going to happen with this bill. So, but I just wanted to also thank people that came down, people that have emailed. I think there's over 600 emails that have gone out. I would say most of those likely were from Chaska residents based on who they went to, which is really amazing. So that's kind of the update. I will say one thing I know about Chaska residents is they're not quiet, and they're bold, and they speak up for what they care for, and I'm always really proud of people in Chaska. So I don't know if you guys had any questions I could answer on it quick, but.
You said it passed the House bill?
It passed
It passed the Transportation Committee.
Yes, so the Transportation, so it got referred to the Transportation Committee.
Okay.
Yep, and it passed there, so that one committee. It has to go on now to the Ways and Means Committee, and then it would have to make it all the way to the floor. There's several more steps it would have to take, but it passed in the first one.
Okay.
Yeah, which is,
So.
I mean, it is troubling, and like Councilmember Hatfield had mentioned, it kind of seemed like their mind was sort of made up even kind of before
It was definitely made up.
Okay.
the hearing got going. I think it's really important to stress that even though it passed the one committee, still contact our legislators, lean on them so that they lean on their caucuses and their coalitions that they work within to really be able to allow the whole body of Congress or to know that they may not have suburban transit in their community. They may be under the ridership of Metro Transit or something of another, but it's important that the service stays for the individuals in our communities that there is no cost saving without loss of service, that the numbers, that it just doesn't add up, that the numbers that they're kind of presenting out there, how do you save that much money without losing service? And I think about even on social media, posting kind of an update and hearing even the testimony from some of our residents saying that, it allows transportation for their loved ones so that not only can their loved ones be independent and be able to get to things, that it takes some of the shouldering off of them in order to provide that for them as well. So it would just be a real shame if we lost those opportunities for our residents to have clean, safe, affordable transportation to get them to and from whatever they are wanting to do. So
yeah, and I'll say too, their community, I always feel bad for communities that don't have this option, but I will also say that having suburban transit providers, whenever you have competition, it breeds innovation, and so our region has better transportation because of it. If Metro Transit doesn't have to compete against anyone, if the Met Council gets to just run it how they want, there's nothing to compare it to. So Southwest Transit's the 14th fastest growing agency in the whole nation. We get better transportation in the Twin Cities in general because there is that competition, that need to do better, the need to not be complacent, because we do have different agencies doing different things, and that all goes away with consolidation. And nobody should want that.
Which interestingly, I thought that was the whole groundwork for the capitalist economy, was that the DOJ blocks things all the time because it's a monopoly,
Right.
whether it's health insurance or you name it, they're
Yes.
always blocking mergers because it reduces monopoly, or it reduces competition.
Exactly.
And creates a monopoly. So it's
Yes,
interesting
this
that in this
absolutely-
case, it's almost the opposite and they're
Yeah.
voting for it.
Yeah.
This absolutely creates a monopoly of transportation.
Well, I think it was interesting. One of the transportation committee members asked Eric Hansen, who's the CEO of Southwest Transit, I represent St. Louis Park. What are you like? We don't have this, so why should you? And he's like, you deserve to have this. You should demand to have, an option to have this. I thought that was a really fitting answer, that just because other inner ring suburbs or inner ring communities that have more density and makeup in order to be serviced by Metro Transit, which they're not a bad transit agency, they just view things differently in the sense where the ridership is all based on volume and numbers and things along those lines. They're just looking at different parameters, and that different inner ring suburban communities and the inner core cities can provide transit differently than they can out here. We're a growing community, but we're still a suburban, more rural community, and but that still doesn't separate the fact that those communities should have the options to be able to do and have that going forward. So,
Yeah.
And just to ask one more question, Michaela, just so that I understand it right. So you said if Metro Transit takes this over, they would not be able to service? Does that mean like?
I don't know how they would service, because they don't own our park and ride. I honestly don't even know how that would all work. That's, I think, part of the process is.
But has anyone pushed back at them? Like you couldn't even take this on?
I think we're
part of this
getting
Ways
to our
and
lobbyists.
Means.
And then,
Okay,
yes,
yeah.
Ways and Means, that's definitely something that
Yeah.
should and would come up. Because,
Okay.
there's so many logistics that are just being completely overlooked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the unfortunate reality is that the bill is in there before even figuring out how it would work, right? Now, the bill does say it gives them a few years to figure that out, but certainly it would be nice to know how it actually really works before you decide to not make it work, right? But that's not how they've chosen to go this route. They've chosen to try to introduce a bill that would eliminate it, and then they'll figure out what that really means over 2 years. I think it's a 2 year.
It's 1 year.
1 year.
Yeah,
even worse.
they get
1
to
year.
make a plan, and then they'd have to provide the same service for 1 year. But again, I literally don't know how they would do that
So-
without spending millions that they said they were saving.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I appreciate that update as I've learned more as serving on that commission as well, and it is very interesting to listen and to read how the use of different words can mean different things to different people. And savings seems straightforward, and I think you've already said it, but I'll say it again. It's not like your taxes are going to go away. You're still going to pay that money. It's just going to go to a different source of use. That doesn't have a really good, let's just be honest, does not have a really good track record of, if you think of light rail as an example, doesn't have a real good track record of being finished, using it wisely either. So, I think the hardest thing is that unfortunately all 4 opt-outs are being viewed as a grouping, and they are operated and ran differently with different leadership and different philosophies, and as a result have different outcomes in some of those cost of riderships. And so, really the data says that Southwest is cheaper to operate, but we get lumped in with the opt-outs because it's easier to say it that way, and that's just unfair for Southwest Transit, truthfully.
Yeah. So we'll keep fighting, but if you could all continue to use your voice too, would be great. So that's that update, and then a few other things. I saw that the Chaska Police Department posted that safety camp for this year. Registration is open. That's always a great event for the kiddos. So definitely consider that. It's designed for youth entering 2nd to 4th grade in the fall of 2026, an opportunity for safety education in a camp setting, and includes fire safety, bike safety, personal safety, basic first aid, and more. So police, fire, Ridgeview Ambulance, Carver County Dispatch, BMX freestyle bike show, reptile demonstration, and more. Even reptiles. That's crazy. I didn't know they did that part.
I'm like trying to think about Ethan's time. I don't know if that was.
Well, I think I've seen chickens and helicopter, but it'll be. I know that people really love it. So that registration is open for people to sign up now. And then a couple other police department things. Coffee with a Cop at Jones Coffee this Wednesday from 10 to 11. I got to go to the last one, which was donuts at Bubble Time.
Yeah, Bubble Time.
And it was fantastic. Those donuts are literally amazing.
They are.
And it was just like, it was fun because it was from 4 to 5, so I could go at the end of my workday, and just a lot of fun. So definitely great time. And it's at Jones, fantastic coffee and baked items. So that's this Wednesday. And then they have Cocoa and Cops on April 1st from 11 to 12 at the Ice Arena in the community center. So you can skate and do that. Free admission and skate rentals. And then there'll be hot chocolate. So that's coming up. And then one other thing, a couple other things. Spent my day a couple weeks ago at Chaska Middle School West. Mr. Smutka is always kind enough to invite local government people to come talk to their different classes about local government. So spent the day doing that. I think all but one period I got to be there, and the kids always ask really great questions. Sometimes they pass on messages from their parents and things like that. So I got to deliver the good news to one student that they could finally have some backyard chickens. She was psyched about that. But it's always a great day. So thank you to Mr. Smutka for always inviting us. I always really enjoy it. I enjoy getting to see the students and teach them something about local government and share.
I ran into 2 students later that evening at the iftar dinner, and they really enjoyed. I don't know, I think they were part of, must have been maybe the last one, because I was only a part of the first and the last, but they really did have a nice time. So
yeah, we tried to give them a good show, so we had some good back and forth. We had all 4 cities there at one point and the county, so it was a lot of fun. We got to have some back and forth between the cities and the county, and they got to learn, and it was just a good time. So I always appreciate being invited to that. And then I think that might be everything I had. Yeah. That's it.
awesome. Great report. All right. Elise?
All right, quick update that Kevin asked me to pass along. In the upcoming days, you will receive an email from Carver County Public Works about a groundbreaking for the Highway 5 improvements. That'll be Tuesday, April 7th at about 1 p.m. So just be on the lookout for that. If you're interested in attending, we will notice that. So you don't need to necessarily respond back to me. And then some other Highway 5 updates. Later this week, the county is planning to announce the closure of Highway 5 in Bavaria. So kind of some of the first phases with that. Still TBD on the exact date. The snow, obviously, this weekend threw a little wrench into when they're planning to start. So I'll look for that to come out. And then there are 2 meetings/open houses on Highway 5. Both of them are on Wednesday, March 25th, so in a week and a half. The first one is the business meeting, which will be at 7:30 in the morning at the Arboretum. And then later that night is an open house for the general public from 5 to 7. So Kevin asked me to pass that along if you're interested in attending any of those. That's all I have.
Wonderful. All right. Matt?
Yeah, just one real quick thing. On Wednesday morning at 7:30 a.m., we are going to have our annual employee recognition breakfast. Sort of multiple things there. We do a presentation to sort of give an update on sort of things that have gone on during the year, recap, and then sort of look forward into the upcoming year. I know the mayor has put together a presentation of all kinds of jobs she's done around the city, so we can't wait to see that. And then we do years of service recognition for all of our employees. And then we also have, we have an employee committee that basically takes nominations from employees for different awards that we have throughout the city for different types of achievement that employees have. So if any council members are available on Wednesday morning at 7:30 a.m. at the event center, would love to have you there. It's always a good time, good breakfast.
So the real question is, are you going to be able to be there?
I feel like I'm stuck in purgatory right now, but hopefully.
Matt, do you want to mention, you talked about the curling championship earlier. Do you want to say anything about that?
Yeah. So on the 26th of March, Chaska Curling Center is going to be holding it's called the Club Nationals for the United States Curling Association. So basically what the Club Nationals are is it's basically league teams from across the country. They can basically enter playdowns to basically fill. I think they have probably 14 spots or something like that fill from across the country. So it's basically the best league teams from across the entire country come together for a championship once a year, and we're hosting it this year. So the 26th, which I think is a Thursday, is going to be the opening ceremonies, so there'll be some special stuff going on that day, and then there'll be curling going on that entire weekend. And one other thing about the curling center, I had mentioned during our work session, I had met with the president of the USCA this past weekend. One of the things that he shared with me is that they would like to have Chaska be a site that they actually install specialized, basically it's audio-video equipment that they add to 2 of our sheets of ice that basically is specialized to be able to provide all kinds of data to their high-performance curlers for training, so they can use it to be able to get all kinds of information that help improve their game. The good thing, I mean, that's good for the high-performance curlers, but the good thing is then it becomes available to our members as well. So if we have members that want to work on helping improve their game, this is stuff that they can sign up and be able to use, be able to record them doing different things, and be able to work on improving different parts of their game. And we don't have to pay to actually have that put into our facility. So not many clubs across the country have this, but they want Chaska to be one of the places to have it, since we have so many high-performance curlers that come out of our facility.
Wonderful. Thanks. Krista? Got anything? All right. Okay, recapping some other things. Last Wednesday, Matt and I participated in the League of Minnesota Cities Day on the Hill. That's where they kind of have a conference in the morning. Legislators kind of talked about the session, kind of where things were going, kind of answered some questions in regards to, common things that maybe are going to come up as like bonding and things along those lines, and kind of where things are. And then also Governor Walz spoke a little bit. And then as part of that is also meeting with your legislators. So Matt and I met with both Representative Nash and Representative Ream, and just kind of, I know we were benefited by having them be able to attend a council meeting and be able to kind of talk about our priorities, but just kind of going back over those priorities again as we are, still moving forward in the session, and then also kind of discuss some other things that were not on that sheet as well. So just kind of keeping in contact with them. And it also coincided with the hearing for the Transportation Committee for Southwest Transit. In regards to the upcoming session, or in regards to the session upcoming this week, I actually will be going with Elise to the Senate Tax Committee to testify for our TIF extension for City Square West. So yes, so that is a great opportunity. So we'll be able to go out there. So sadly, I will miss the employee recognition breakfast, which I'm super sad about because we worked so hard, but the video will still play even without me being there, and hopefully the employees will enjoy what I have presented to them. So, and then also tomorrow, I will testify on behalf of Brandon Dale in the committee for, is it Commerce and, I gotta look it up here, Commerce and Consumer Protection, I think it is, in regards to the housing legislation for them. So, yep, Senate Commerce and Consumer Protections Committee. So that's the kind of the dealing with the Brandondale, with the Haven Park, the ownership and everything. So, so that hopefully will move forward for them as well. Was able to attend the La Saram Institute of Indian Arts. They had an event this weekend. Luckily, it was kind of all before the snow rolled in on Saturday, and delivered a proclamation to them for Yuva I knew I had this in front of me, and I'm going to butcher it. Rajarga Day? I can't remember. I practiced it like 1,000 times. I had it right that day, thankfully, but now I have not done it justice in pronouncing it right. But it was really great to attend and meet some of our community members and help celebrate with them. And then I wanted to also mention that on our own police department, Elroy Schmidt, Officer Schmidt, is retired after 23 years of service. I would be doing an injustice to say in my own words. So I think the police did a really great job of putting a post out there, but I just want to mention just a couple pieces from it. So, 23 years of service for the city of Chaska and 30 years in total as a police officer. He has been a cornerstone of the department from the day he arrived. Over the years, built a reputation as a skilled police officer, investigator, field training officer, and use of force and firearms instructor. But the thing that people remember the most is that Roy was a person, calm, steady, and reliable, the kind of officer victims felt exceptionally safe and comfortable talking to, and the kind of partner you trusted when things got tough. So just want to thank Officer Schmidt for his years of service to the community, and just say a congratulations and wish him well in his retirement, whatever endeavors he has planned for himself. So,
and if anybody's smart in the community and is short one person on their golf league team, they would pick him up.
Yes, well, aside, I'm terrible at golf, so you won't see me out there with that, but.
He's a very good golfer.
That's good to know, good to know. So I'm sure he has lots of golf planned in his future here, so.
Yep.
And thank you to our plow operators, our first responders this weekend. So Matt missed it, but we had quite a bit of snow out here. So I think about 11 inches, I think I heard in Chaska. And it wasn't the light stuff, it's the wet, heavy stuff that's really, really terrible to have to shovel. So thank you to them.
I mean, too, like I think I read it's like 4 times in the modern history where the entire county metro is under a blizzard
Yes.
warning.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen, because I was talking to my kids and they're like, what do you mean is that? It's like, well, you think like downtown Minneapolis, wind doesn't get through because there's all the buildings around. We have a blizzard warning through the whole metro area.
Well, they said because we've sprawled so much, urban sprawl, it's like from St. Cloud down to
Yeah,
basically
it's
Mankato,
just-
and it still
the
was
wind,
wide
and
enough
the wind's
to.
still whipping out there.
Yeah.
It's crazy,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's just,
It's cold out there too. It's supposed to
Yeah.
go negative digits tonight, so stay
Yeah,
warm.
I had to smile. I saw Star Tribune had mentioned that there was a author book signing or discussion at must have been one of the libraries in Hennepin County that was a book about surviving a blizzard that had to get canceled because of the blizzard because of a blizzard. I thought that was kind of cute and interesting. And
Well, I
also say-
know that our mission of being the best small town in Minnesota is well and alive, because this morning I got a text from my neighbor saying, "Are you out of town?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm stuck." And he goes, "Well, I'll go over and I'll plow your driveway for you." So a big thanks to Mike Freelix, my neighbor, for plowing my driveway for me.
And I will say it's really obvious that Chaska does a great job with their roads, because Minnesota does 41 and my road turns out onto 41, and it was slippery as all get out, and there's a big mound that you slip in when you turn at that light because they didn't do a great job.
Yeah.
So when I get on a Chaska road, I'm like, I can actually see the pavement and drive, and when I get on 41, I'm like, God damn you, Minnesota.
yes, they do an exceptional job getting rid of the snow here in town. So, and those plows, that is not an easy endeavor if you've ever ridden along on one of those. So. And then just a couple, Chaska Christmas in May, the Christmas in May, I know that they're still accepting homeowner applications this week. So if you are a homeowner that maybe is in need of some TLC on the exterior of your home, and you can't either physically or financially do it, feel free to go to the city website. They have the information there. You can certainly fill out an application, and it's a wonderful way of being able to also give back as a volunteer, but also a great thing for homeowners as well. So, and I think that's it. Oh, otherwise, next meeting is on March 30th, but I know we have an EDA meeting following this. So, does anybody
Mayor,
have? Oh, yes.
I had a quick question.
Yes.
I don't know if we want to give a farmer's market update. I've seen that on social media.
I thought about that. I didn't know if that's just too early, or would you like us to talk
Maybe
about
we
it?
could just tell people what a paseo is.
Okay, so, all right, so I know there's a little bit, yeah, because for our 1.2 million viewers, we even lost the Boy Scout that was here earlier, sadly. For our 1.2 million listeners listening right now, the Chaska Park and Recs is going to be taking over the facilitation of the farmers market this summer. So it's going to be at the same day and the same time. So Thursdays from like 4 to 7. But the location's going to change. And so if a paseo is a mid-block pathway, has said that a lot of times during house testimonies and whatnot. But it's a mid-block pathway, and specifically it is, we have two, one on the east side of our city and one on the west side of our city, if you think 41 is the dividing line in the middle. And so our farmers market is planned for the one on the east side, which is kind of right over by where the Spring Meadows Church is. It's the old Chaska Cinema behind Red Bench, and kind of going up through where the Chaska Moravian Church is, up into the park. And so at this point in time, in the early preliminary part of the process, is the vendors will be located in that area with, music in the park as well. Now, hopefully, the plan is to continue to grow this event, and then maybe it can continue to grow down the Paseo that runs along Von Hansen Meats and there on to 2nd Street. So, you know, we have some really great infrastructure that's been built as part of everything with the community. So the tunnel underneath 41 and kind of going up through there lends itself to really inviting space for vendors to be able to collaborate well together and be kind of a perfect atmosphere for farmers market. Did I do a good job of that? Or do you have anything to add?
Great. No, I think it's exciting because there was this investment in these paseos to be a gathering space, and I think it'll really give that farmers market vibe. You know, where you can, it's ample very walkable, ample parking. It does also, I love Fireman's Park, and it's certainly a great place for a lot of events. But an event like this, where we also have so many amazing downtown businesses that are open, it gets you on the right side of a large road for that. And then if you do want to pass over to the west side, there's the tunnel. So I think that's an exciting opportunity for our downtown businesses to really be in the heart, and also just to be back with City Square Park, and then that opportunity for growth. I think it also is going to be more accessible for vendors and things. So hopefully we can attract some really great vendors and
theme days.
And it's just it's really exciting to get to use those gathering spaces to gather.
Yeah, so I would say you know, reach out to our Park and Recs department if you are a vendor, for all those that are listening, that is interested in having a booth space, or if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Happy to answer them. But yeah, that's great. I'm glad.
Thank you. I thought I had seen it on social media, so I thought it was good to.
Nope.
Even though there's still a lot of planning, but just to.
Yes. Yeah.
Even answer what paseos are.
Absolutely. Yeah, they are fun and inviting spaces. Wonderful. Okay. Well, knocking that out, do we have anything else that we need to talk about this go around? Otherwise, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All right, so we have a motion from Councilmember Shevlin.
Second.
And a second from Councilmember Hatfield. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. And we're going to move right into the EDA, sorry. I can't think and move papers and talk at the same time, apparently. So we're going to move right along to the Chaska Economic Development Authority meeting here on Monday, March 16th. And I call this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hatfield?
Here.
Commissioner Benish?
Here.
Commissioner Shevlin?
Here.
Commissioner Grau?
Here.
President Hubbard?
Here. All right. Moving right along, let's entertain a motion to, is there any additions to agenda? Otherwise, entertain a motion to adopt the agenda.
Motion to adopt agenda.
Okay, so we have a motion from Commissioner Shevlin to adopt the agenda.
Second.
And a second from Commissioner Benish. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda is adopted. And then that moves us along to the previous meeting minutes. These EDA minutes were from December 15th of 2025. Wow, really that far along? Really? Okay. I didn't really pay attention to the date when we were going through things. Anybody have any corrections or additions to the minutes? Otherwise, I would entertain a motion for approval.
Motion to approve the minutes.
All right, so we have a motion for approval from Commissioner Hatfield.
Second.
And a second from Commissioner Grau. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Minutes approved. And then that moves us along to our discussion item. We have one today, 5A, settlement agreement related to the Chaska Building Center site.
President and Commissioners, this item before you has to do with the Chaska Building Center site / Chaska Tech Center. So if you're familiar, down 61, here's the new multi-tenant building that was built and is partially occupied at this point in time. So back in 2023, we entered into a development agreement, a TIF development agreement there for the redevelopment of that property, as well as a purchase agreement. So as the EDA, we own that parcel through a contract for deed with Bremer Bank. As a part of that purchase agreement, it called out, so this is where it starts to get confusing. It called out the opportunity for the developer to access escrowed funds held by Bremer Bank, which is now Old National, so if there's any confusion there. The developer Lariat companies could access those escrowed funds to help complete some additional kind of soils remediation and other environmental issues that may have been found on the site. That portion to access those escrow funds are to be worked out between Old National / Bremer and Lariat companies. We have nothing to do with it other than we're a party on the purchase agreement. So as that construction was being completed, Lariat requested those release of those escrow funds. It ended up going through some legal action between Lariat and Bremer / Old National. They have come to an agreement on it. The EDA is a party of that settlement agreement now purely because we are part of the purchase agreement and development agreement on that property. So it has been reviewed by the city attorney. We feel comfortable, so we're asking the EDA approve the settlement agreement. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Does anybody have any questions on this matter? Okay, seems pretty straightforward, so. All right, well then with that, I would entertain a motion to approve the settlement agreement between the EDA, Lariat Companies, Old National Bank, and the Old Republic National Title Insurance Company, and authorize the president to execute the agreement.
So moved.
All right, so we have a motion from Commissioner Benish,
Second.
and a second from Commissioner Grau. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, that moves us along to other business. Do you want to talk about KFC? Or no? Matt?
At the next council meeting, I think we'll have a better update.
Okay. All right. Well, that moves us along then as long. Any other questions? Anything else? To be continued on that. All right. It is kind of a cliffhanger. But
Come back in
it's
2
a good
weeks.
kind.
See
Yeah,
what
those
happens.
1.2 million viewers will be in for that.
Yeah.
We've been talking about that
Also be
building for
great. I mean,
15 years.
yeah, and I think, being the 5th Monday of the month, this will just bring us something to come back for, so.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. All right, well, with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All right, motion from Commissioner Grau.
Second.
Ooh. Second from Commissioner Benish. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.